The mistake that changed everything. Look, I never wanted to be a bodyguard, especially not for one of the most famous people on the planet. But one tiny misunderstanding, one bad decision, and suddenly, I was standing between a celebrity and an actual security threat, wearing a suit that wasn't mine, pretending I knew how to fight. How did this happen? Let me take you back to the worst and best night of my life. The plan that started it all. It all started when my friend Jake called me with a brilliant idea. Bro, I got us into an A-list Hollywood party. Now, two important things. Jake was not famous. I was even less famous. So how exactly did we get into a VIP party full of celebrities? I have a plan, Jake said. Just dress nice and follow my lead. I should have known. Whenever Jake has a plan, it usually involves getting arrested, embarrassed, or both. How we got in Jake's brilliant idea, we pretended to be security guards. Yep, full-on fake bodyguards. Dude, these rich people have so much security, nobody even knows who's supposed to be here, Jake said. And you know what? It worked. We walked right through security, no questions asked. Suddenly, we were inside a mansion straight out of a movie, surrounded by actual famous people. Actors, singers, influencers, everyone was there. And that's when things went very, very wrong. The moment I messed up 1 second, I was eating free shrimp and trying to look important. The next, someone grabbed my arm. A woman, panicked, stressed, looked up at me and said, "Thank God you're here. The client needs you now." Before I could respond, she shoved an earpiece in my ear and pushed me toward the center of the party. I had zero clue what was happening until I saw who the client was. Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, Thor. I was about to tell the woman she had the wrong guy. But then someone screamed. The chaos begins. A loud voice shouted, "Where is he? I need to talk to him." I turned and saw a very angry man pushing through the crowd, sweating, furious, and coming straight toward Chris Hemsworth. Now here's the thing. When you accidentally pretend to be a bodyguard, you have two choices. Tell the truth and get kicked out. Commit to the lie and hope you don't die. I chose option 2. My first and worst attempt at security work. Chris Hemsworth looked at me like I actually knew what I was doing. I did not know what I was doing, but I knew one thing. If I let this angry guy get to him, I was getting exposed. So I did what I thought a real bodyguard would do. I stood my ground and said, "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to calm down." It did not work. The man kept pushing forward. So naturally, I did what any untrained idiot would do. I stuck out my foot and tripped him. The fallout. The guy went flying forward and landed right in a giant bowl of guacamole. It was instant chaos. People screamed. Security rushed in. Chris Hemsworth looked at me like I was an actual hero. And for exactly 3 seconds, I thought, maybe I can actually pull this off. Then Jake ran up to me and whispered, "Bro, that guy you tripped, he's the host of the party." Uh-oh. The great escape. The moment security figured out I was fake, I grabbed Jake and ran for our lives. We dodged through the crowd, jumped over a hedge, and somehow ended up in the valet area. That's when Chris Hemsworth walked outside. "Hey," he said, "that was actually pretty badass." I just stared. Thanks?" Then he handed me his sunglasses and said, "Maybe you should be my actual bodyguard next time." And then he got into a car and drove away. What I learned from this night, never listen to Jake. Never fake being a bodyguard. If you're going to trip someone, make sure it's not the host of the party. The good news? I didn't go to jail. The bad news? I am now banned from Hollywood parties. Forever. But honestly, still worth it. Would you have done the same? Let me know in the comments. Would you have tried to fake your way in or run the second someone handed you an earpiece? Either way, I think we can all agree on one thing. Chris Hemsworth is way too nice to me.